What is good, guys and girls of YouTube? It is me, Justin Omoe, here teaching you guys and girls about DAW terminology. These are terms used in digital audio workstations such as, your music software, FL Studio, even Audacity, Logic, Pro Tools, Reason, so on, any DAW. So today we are going to talk about ADSR. Now, what is ADSR? It is known as attack, decay, sustain, and release. I always say range by accident, but it's release. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and show you what these are one by one. So starting at the top, ADSR is something used in envelopes as well as some effects, which I'll show you. So an envelope, if you don't know, it is a basic line that kind of tells you what you are going to hear in a sound as a style. So yes, starting with attack. Attack is something that takes time before a sound gets hit. An attack could be immediate, just like this one. Notice how it hits right when I press the key. So if I use my knob right here, make sure envelope is selected if it's not. If I take my attack knob and raise it up, you'll see it takes a slanted line approach. That means it'll go wah. So if I press the key, notice how it will slowly go up. If you look at the decibel meter, it'll go slowly up. This is of course a slow attack, but if we have a fast attack, it'll immediately go up like we did before. Notice how it didn't do the little cave-in thing. Like that. This is useful when it comes to pad sounds, background sounds, such as this. And like. So yes, that is something you do with attacks. Next up, we have something called decay. Now, as you see, I'm moving the decay knob and nothing is happening. So what the heck is that? Decay actually connects with something called sustain, which is the third part. Sustain, right here, if you notice the little ramp. Sustain is something that happens when you hold the key. So if you sustain the note, it will stay there. Now, sustain works in a downward slope. The lower I go, the lower the note hold will be. And if I move the decay now, you'll see it'll take the end slope and bring it in and out. This is like an attack, but the opposite way. So if we change the decay time to be immediate and the sustain to be really low, what will happen, of course, with the attack, it'll go wah, and then it'll go quickly down. Let's say quickly down. And it'll sustain on a small level. So if you see on the sustain it's low, what will happen is that wave candy will hit it in a low range as long as I hold the note. And then when I release, since the release is going to be immediately, it'll automatically stop. So here I go. Notice that the sound is being held, and when I release, it'll drop. It won't have a ramp. Now, if you wanted to have a drop in ramp, you'll have to tweak the release. Now, the release, after you release the note, it will either fade it or it'll do an immediate cut. This is the end part of the envelope. Notice a small sustain. If I let go, look at the way the sound releases. It took a while. So let me make a better example. Alright? So let's say we have the decay there. Sustain is there. Attack is immediate. So yeah, something like this. Notice the release. If we put it even more, I could just tap it and you'll still hear the sound. And I'm gonna cut it off just like that. So yes, that is what ADSR is. Attack, decay, sustain, and release. Of course, as well as using it in a generator, such as this 3X oscillator. So, if you use FL Studio, go ahead and play with that. It's in any other, DAW as well. But yes, along with using it in a generator, it is also known in effects, such as reverb, Notice it has a decay on it, a decay function, decay time. It'll give an amount of time before the sound is, completely out of the way. So let's say we do a sound like this. Okay, the release is all the way, the attack is the fastest it could be. And yeah, if we put on a reverb and change the decay time, notice how long you'll hear a surround sound. That's very cool, right? And I'm gonna hit stop. Just like how the decay does in the envelope, the decay does in the reverb. So the decay in this sense is how long it'll take before the reverb goes away. It decays downward. So if we have the decay at a fast rate, this will be the same as having a slope down. So I'm going to put it, let's say, around here. Notice the reverb sound, as you see in the wave candy down here, by the way. So yes, decay, it's that down slope again. We also have the same thing in a compressor. Now a compressor has attack and a release. Let me just move that over there. Attack, again, is how long it takes before the sound kicks in. In this case, is how long before the compressor kicks in. And release, again, is how long before the compressor stops compressing. That's usually after the release of the sound. So I'm going to show you. Let's put the attack at a 27. And let's change the threshold so it can actually activate. I'll put it around -12. Oh, it's already -25. Change the ratio so the compression actually does something. I'll talk about this in the next video. And the type and the release. Let's do some makeup gain. Notice how quick it does before the compression kicks in. And if I change the attack into something like this, notice that the sound is actually louder because the attack time was longer. So it took a while before the attack kicked in. Did you hear it? It starts high and then goes low because the attack. So if we do something very obvious like change the compression all the way down there for the threshold and the attack along, you'll notice it'll go bing, just like that. If you take the attack all the way up. So yes. Same thing goes with the release. It's kind of harder to see with the release because it's not usually an oscillated sound you would use it for. But let's say we use something like a limiter. Of course, this has a compression function as well. This will also have a release when it comes to noise gate. So if you don't know what a noise gate does, it basically cuts off sounds. Let's go to release and turn the gain down. Do you see this little curved line? This curve going down? That is the release. So if we put the release up there, look at the curve. It's the amount of time after the sound threshold is hit to see before it goes down in the effect. So yes, this is ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. As you've seen in the 3X oscillator, there's other things such as delay, meaning how long before the sound hits. So if I press it now, oh, that's what it is. As well as the hold, which counts as how long you want to hold the note if the sustain is down. So if we put the hold, something like this. I'm not trying to take a long time with that. So yes. And there's also something called tension, which is the curve of the line that it takes before, it has a nice curve or a straight down curve. So yes, that is it. Hopefully you guys and girls learned about ADSR today. If not, then what were you watching? Video with big thumbs up if you like what you learned today, as well as if you want to see more, of course. Leave a comment below if you feel like you still have trouble with ADSR. And yeah, my name is Justin Omoe. Thank you all for watching, and as always, peace. I'm the Spider-Man.